take time for yourself. Today's video is going to be short and sweet because really the only thing of value that I am feeling into to share with you is to really impress upon you how precious your time is. And what I mean by that is, if I may suggest something to you, it's something which I've taken on board lately, which makes me feel better about my life. That may sound strange. Let me explain. So what you do, if you choose to onboard this, is simply take, now this can be whatever time you choose. However, I find 5 to 10 minutes works really well. And what you would do is essentially schedule, if you have to, allot 5 to 10 minutes of every single day to do nothing, or to relax in nature, or to read a book that you want to read, need to read, whatever the case may be. You spend those, and I think I've even spoken about this before. However, it's so unbelievably precious that I thought to speak about it again. And the reason was, today on my walk, as you guys often are hearing me talk about these walks, it occurred to me that, one, I used to carry around a lot of anxiety, which thankfully, thanks to the daily walks, has really been getting out of me and grounded into the ground instead of in my body as anxiety, which is a big relief. I am, that said, still working on my anxiety. Again, the point of bringing it up is that I went out to take a walk in order to calm my mind, to calm myself, because I know that that's 99% of the time that will work to calm me down and ground me. And what I was thinking about when I was taking that time was, holy moly, because this was just one day out of my life. And I know I am just one person out of however many on the planet. However, I also know that the way that my brain works is a lot like a lot of other folks. So I know that it's not exactly the same. However, I mean that the ways in which it operates is similar to some others, as it would be for anybody in any group of anything. And I realized that if it's so incredibly difficult for me, as exactly who I am, to get myself to a point where I'm able to take relaxation, to take literally 5 minutes to, while, for example, sitting on a rock or sitting on the grass, sitting on the ground, whatever, wherever, to literally sit on Mother Earth. This is not a good example because I'm in my room. However, sitting on the ground and physically grounding, if that's barefoot walking, like I said, you can even just sit or lay on the ground or sit anywhere and take like 5 minutes to close your eyes and just breathe. Allow yourself to tune out all of the external noises and remember who you are and tune back into your internal centered groundedness, if you get where I'm going with that. So I wanted to emphasize the importance of taking that time for yourself, because it's something that I honestly can say that I did not do for the majority of my life. I did not purposefully take even 5 minutes a day, really, honestly, for the majority of my life up until now, to do something, or better said, to do nothing, if that's the case, to just be. As I mentioned, one of my mentors, Terry Cole Whitaker, used to talk about this, the power of just being. And perhaps until you try 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour a day of just allowing yourself to exist and not having any roles, conditions, places you have to be, and so on and so forth, may you find the same freedom and expansion. It's wild. If you've ever heard someone talk about the phenomenon of the fact that, let's say you have to clean your room and you know you have guests coming in a week. You probably might not clean that room until the day before they get there. And then all of a sudden you can clean your room or the whole house in a fraction of the time that it would have taken you otherwise. This is almost like the reverse version of that. If you begin to allow yourself to take, let's say, 5 minutes regularly to simply ground, breathe in peace, wherever you are, you allot yourself 5 minutes, set even a timer if you want to. It helps sometimes just to build that it's freeing for you, and also lets you know that you haven't exceeded your time if you're concerned about continuing on to other productive tasks, for example. What's amazing about it is that when you start to regularly take those 5 minutes on a day like today, where my mind was it is the most beautiful practice, because all of a sudden, where your day felt very frenzied and hurried and was feeling very frantic and fast, if you actually allow and get to that time for even 5 minutes, all of a sudden it feels like the whole world just slowed down into molasses, and suddenly you feel like there's all the time in the world. And the weirdest thing is that it then makes your whole situation feel like you have more time. Now, technically, you didn't create any time, you just created time for there to be silence and space, and it allows for this unbelievable feeling of freedom and expansion. So I really do hope you give that a shot and perhaps start implementing that into your days, into your week, because I personally have found it to be incredibly understated and unbelievably helpful. So if this video has helped you, please do share it with anyone you think may need to hear it or want to hear it. Subscribe, as that really helps me to get the messages out there to people like you who need to hear them. And last but not least, if you, my beautiful spirit soul, need any support or health coaching, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at this email address, where it would be my pleasure to serve you in whatever way that I can. Have a beautiful and a blessed rest of your day or night whenever you're seeing this, and I will see you, beautiful cats, in the next one. Namaste and much love. Bye. Essentially, to get their message, all of a sudden you can clean your room or the whole house in a fraction of the time that it would have taken you otherwise. Allowing yourself to exist and not having any roles, conditions, places you have to be